What if I told you that one simple thing you do, or don't do, within the first hour of waking up can quietly change how your body handles sugar all day long? Not a supplement, not a new diet, not cutting carbs or skipping breakfast, just a small morning habit that most people completely overlook. And yet, research consistently shows that this habit is linked to better insulin sensitivity, more stable blood sugar, improved energy, and even long-term metabolic health. What's surprising is that many people who eat healthy and exercise regularly are still missing this. And when they do, their blood sugar control silently suffers. Today, I want to explain what this habit is, why it works at a biological level, and how you can use it safely and effectively in your own life. Because once you understand the mechanism, you'll never look at your mornings the same way again. I'm Dr. Nimra Raza, and welcome to my channel. As a physician, I spend a lot of time looking at the root causes of insulin resistance, prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic dysfunction. And what's become very clear in both clinical practice and research is this. Insulin sensitivity is not just about what you eat. It's about timing, hormones, and how your body interprets signals from the environment. This matters because insulin resistance sits at the center of so many modern health problems: weight gain, fatigue, fatty liver disease, heart disease, cognitive decline, and accelerated aging. And the habit we're talking about today works upstream. It influences your circadian rhythm, stress hormones, muscle glucose uptake, and even how your mitochondria function. So let's start by clearing up a common misunderstanding. Most people think insulin sensitivity is controlled mainly by food, especially sugar and carbohydrates. And yes, diet matters, but what many people don't realize is that your body's response to food is heavily shaped before you take your first bite. In other words, your metabolism is being programmed in the morning. Here's the hidden problem. Modern mornings are completely disconnected from human biology. We wake up to an alarm, stay indoors, scroll on our phones, sit down immediately, drink coffee under artificial light, and then wonder why our blood sugar spikes after meals. From your body's perspective, these signals create confusion. And this is where the morning habit comes in. The habit is simple. Exposure to natural morning light combined with gentle movement, ideally within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking. This is where it gets interesting. Morning light is not just about your eyes. When light hits specialized receptors in the retina, it sends a powerful signal to the brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This clock coordinates your entire hormonal system. When this signal arrives early in the day, several important things happen. First, cortisol follows a healthy rhythm. Cortisol is often misunderstood as a bad hormone, but in the morning, it's supposed to rise. This morning cortisol peak helps mobilize glucose from the liver, increases alertness, and prepares your muscles to use fuel efficiently. When cortisol rises at the right time, insulin sensitivity later in the day improves. When cortisol is delayed or dysregulated, often due to poor light exposure, blood sugar control worsens. Second, morning light sets the timing for insulin release. Research suggests that circadian alignment improves how pancreatic beta cells respond to glucose. In simple terms, your body becomes better at releasing the right amount of insulin at the right time. Third, light exposure affects melatonin suppression. If melatonin lingers into the morning, insulin signaling is impaired. That's one reason why eating late at night or waking without daylight exposure can lead to higher glucose levels the next day. Now let's layer in movement. Gentle morning movement, such as a short walk outside, activates large muscle groups. Muscle tissue is one of the biggest glucose sinks in the body, and here's a key point many people don't realize. Muscle contraction allows glucose to enter cells through insulin-independent pathways. That means your muscles can pull sugar out of the bloodstream even without relying heavily on insulin. Think of insulin as a key and muscle contraction as an open door. When you move, the door opens wider. Studies consistently show that light activity in the morning improves glucose tolerance at subsequent meals. This isn't about intense workouts. It's about signaling readiness. At the cellular level, morning movement increases GLUT4 transporter activity in muscle cells. These transporters move glucose from the blood into the muscle, where it can be stored or used for energy. This also improves mitochondrial efficiency. Healthier mitochondria burn glucose more cleanly, producing less oxidative stress and inflammation, two major drivers of insulin resistance. Here's what most doctors don't explain clearly. Insulin sensitivity is rhythmic. Your body expects activity and light in the morning. When that expectation is met, metabolic processes align. When it's not, the system compensates poorly. Now let's talk about why this habit is especially powerful before breakfast. In the early morning, insulin levels are naturally low. Gentle movement during this time encourages the body to use stored glucose and fatty acids efficiently. This improves metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between fuel sources. This doesn't mean everyone should exercise fasted intensely. That's not appropriate for everyone. But light movement before or around breakfast creates a favorable hormonal environment. It also reduces post-meal glucose spikes. Studies suggest that people who move earlier in the day show lower blood sugar responses even hours later. This is one reason shift workers and people with irregular sleep schedules often struggle with insulin resistance. Their light and movement cues are misaligned. Now, let's bring this into real life. The practical application is surprisingly simple. Within an hour of waking, aim to get outside and expose your eyes to natural daylight. No sunglasses if it's safe to do so. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is far stronger than indoor lighting. Pair this with 10 to 30 minutes of gentle movement. Walking is ideal. It doesn't need to be fast, it doesn't need to be sweaty, it just needs to involve your muscles. Consistency matters more than intensity. Doing this most days of the week trains your metabolic system to expect activity early. Over time, insulin signaling improves, glucose handling becomes smoother, and energy levels stabilize. Things that enhance the effect include good sleep, adequate protein intake, and minimizing late-night light exposure. These all reinforce circadian alignment. Things that block the effect include waking up and immediately sitting for hours, excessive late-night screen use, and eating heavy, high-sugar meals late at night. Now, let's talk about common mistakes. One mistake is thinking more is better. Extremely intense exercise first thing in the morning can raise stress hormones excessively, especially in people who are already insulin resistant, sleep-deprived, or under-eating. Another mistake is relying on indoor lighting. Artificial light simply doesn't provide the same circadian signal. And one more mistake is ignoring individual health conditions. People with adrenal disorders, advanced diabetes, or cardiovascular disease should tailor activity appropriately and consult their healthcare provider. This habit is supportive, not a replacement for medical care. Over time, the benefits extend far beyond blood sugar. People often notice steadier energy, fewer crashes, improved mood, better sleep quality, and easier weight management. Long-term, improved insulin sensitivity is linked to reduced risk of heart disease, neurodegenerative conditions, and premature aging. You're not forcing the body, you're reminding it of its natural rhythm. And that's the real power here. The most effective interventions often don't shout, they whisper. They work quietly, consistently, in the background. So tomorrow morning, before checking your phone, before stressing about the day, give your body the signal it's been waiting for. Light, movement, timing. Because sometimes the smallest habits create the biggest metabolic shifts. If this helps you understand your health in a new way, I invite you to explore more videos on this channel, where we connect science, physiology, and practical medicine without hype, without fear, and without shortcuts. I'm Dr. Nimra Raza. Thanks for watching.